Imagine a story etched not in stone, but right there in our very cells.
Mhm.
A story stretching back maybe 10,000 years, revealing that what we think we know about being British, well, it might just be scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Today, we're diving deep into the UK's DNA. It's like this genetic tapestry, woven from invasion, migration, resistance, survival, making it one of the most genetically dynamic populations on Earth.
That's absolutely right. And our mission really in this deep dive is to unpack the science, the findings that reveal the UK's incredible its complexity.
Right.
We're going to challenge some maybe common assumptions you might hold and explore the really fascinating implications of DNA-based identity.
Got it.
Our goal is to give you a comprehensive, unbiased view of this truly unique genetic landscape.
So let's go way back then. Ancient British beginnings.
Yeah.
We generally accept Britain was populated by hunter-gatherers, maybe as early as 10,000 BCE. But what's really striking about that initial story, as compelling as it is how completely it seems to have been rewritten in the genes.
Oh, it's an astonishing rewrite, actually. I mean, scientists have discovered that over 90% of ancient British DNA was replaced around 4,500 years ago.
90%, wow.
Yeah, it wasn't a subtle shift. It was a profound genetic overhaul brought about by steppe migrants. These people were from the Yamnaya culture.
The Yamnaya from the Pontic-Caspian steppe, right?
Exactly. And they didn't just bring, new tools or farming techniques. They brought the very roots of the Indo-European language family, fundamentally shaping the future language and culture of the island. It's huge.
And yet, amidst all that really dramatic change, there's this intriguing detail, isn't there?
Yeah.
Something that connects us back.
There is. Researchers have noted that about 7 and 9% of modern Welsh DNA still preserves strong pre-Yamnaya Mesolithic ancestry.
So like a genetic echo from before the big replacement.
Precisely. So for anyone tracing their British roots, this really changes the game. It means your ancestry likely includes threads from this, incredible journey across vast steppes. And parts of Wales effectively stand as a kind of living genetic fossil, a direct link to those very first inhabitants.
That's a powerful reminder, isn't it? How deep roots can run, even through millennia of change.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of change, let's tackle another popular story that DNA is, dramatically reshaping the impact of the great invasions.
Ah, yes, the classic.
Romans, Anglo-Saxons, Vikings, we all learned about them. But the big question is, how much did they really change the gene pool? How much does that common understanding actually translate genetically?
Well, this is where the science delivers some real surprises. The people of the British Isles Project, which was this huge genome mapping study, over 2,000 British individuals,
Okay.
they found that Anglo-Saxon DNA actually makes up only about 30% of modern English ancestry.
Only 30%, seriously. That seems low compared to the narrative.
It is, considerably less than pop culture might suggest. This number, 30%, it really forces us to reevaluate so much of what we thought we knew about England's foundation.
So the idea of a purely Saxon England is maybe more cultural than genetic?
It strongly suggests that. Cultural dominance, political rule, they don't always translate to a widespread genetic legacy. It makes you ask what truly shapes a nation long term.
So conquest doesn't always mean genetic replacement.
Not wholesale, no. But then, if you look at the Norse Vikings, they actually left a notably larger genetic footprint in specific regions.
Ah, okay. Where are we seeing that?
We see up to 12% of Northern English and Scottish DNA linked to these settlers, especially concentrated around places like Orkney and Shetland.
Right, those areas have strong Norse connections historically.
Exactly. Their settlement patterns, it seems, really did impact the gene pool significantly in those areas.
Okay, so Saxons less than expected, Vikings quite significant regionally. What about the Romans? This is the really counterintuitive one for me. They ruled for centuries, built roads, towns, a massive cultural footprint.
Yeah. Huge cultural impact.
So genetically, what did they leave?
Surprisingly little. It's quite remarkable. Despite that long reign, the Romans left a really minor genetic trace.
How can that be?
Well, their presence, it seems, was more cultural than biological. Think about it. Latin, law, infrastructure.
Yeah.
Massive cultural changes that lasted.
Right.
But genetically, maybe they didn't intermarry or settle in large enough numbers outside of specific sort of administrative or military centers to significantly alter the existing gene pool across the board.
So impact looks really different depending on whether you're looking through a genetic lens or a purely historical cultural one.
Precisely. It's a crucial distinction.
And this brings us right up to a very modern and sometimes quite charged debate.
Yes.
Ancestry tests are incredibly popular now.
Yeah.
And we're seeing some people controversially using DNA results to try and justify nationalist ideas,
Yes.
claiming they're somehow more British based on certain genetic markers.
It is indeed a charged topic, and this is where scientific clarity is absolutely critical. Experts in bioethics and genetics strongly warn against this interpretation.
Why, specifically?
Because it's not just scientifically flawed, it can be dangerous. The UK's gene pool is fundamentally a mosaic, not a monolith. It's built from layers and layers of movement.
A mosaic. I like that term.
Yes. And while it's true that Irish, Scottish, English, and Welsh populations do show distinct subgenetic clusters, meaning, groups of genes that are statistically more common within those populations, none can legitimately claim to be purer or more authentic than the others. DNA just doesn't work that way. There's no pure British gene pool to begin with.
And adding another layer of complexity here, modern cities like London, Birmingham, they're now among the most genetically mixed places in Europe, right?
Absolutely. This reflects the huge impact of post-colonial migration, global blending over recent decades, creating entirely new genetic signatures within the UK. It's constantly evolving.
So within this dynamic, evolving picture, are there still some unique genetic quirks, specific threads that kind of stand out as distinctly British Isles?
Oh, definitely. It's fascinating to look at these. For example, there's a specific mutation in the HFE gene called C282Y. It's more common in people with British Isles descent.
HFE, what does that do?
Well, this mutation is associated with hereditary hemochromatosis. That's basically an iron overload disorder. The body absorbs too much iron from food.
Ah.
And around 1 in 150 people of Northern European or British ancestry are homozygous for it, meaning they have 2 copies, making them more likely to develop the condition if it's not managed.
Wow, 1 in 150. That's quite significant. Are there others like that?
Yes, there's also a variant in the FUT2 gene. About 1 in 3 Britons carry it. It seems to affect susceptibility to norovirus, that really nasty stomach bug.
Ugh, norovirus.
Exactly. And it also affects B12 absorption, interestingly.
Huh. And what about, is the redhead thing real? The ginger gene?
Ah, yes. The famous MC1R gene variants associated with red hair, they are indeed more prevalent in people of UK descent globally.
So it's not just a stereotype.
Not at all. Up to maybe 13% of Scots and 10% of Irish people are natural redheads. It's one of those visible, unique genetic threads woven into the tapestry. Quite an interesting evolutionary twist for these northern latitudes.
That's fantastic. It's one of those unique threads making this tapestry so distinct. Which brings us squarely into the 21st century. Because the UK today, it's vastly different, even from 50 years ago, with significant South Asian, African, Caribbean, Eastern European migration, especially post-WWII. Britain's genetic story is being rewritten in real time, right now.
It absolutely is. And this evolving genetic landscape, it raises some pretty profound questions for us to think about, doesn't it?
Like what?
Well, should we continue tracing ancient ancestry with such intensity? Or should we perhaps lean more into embracing the fluidity, the constant nature of genetic change? Can we actually honor heritage without it sliding into some kind of purity test? History shows us that can be incredibly divisive. And maybe the biggest one, how does a country preserve a sense of identity when its very genes are proof of constant transformation, constant mixing? These aren't easy questions.
No, they really aren't. They demand some serious reflection. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? I guess the takeaway is that the UK's gene pool is special, but not because it's pure. It's special because it's so complex.
Exactly.
It carries these indelible footprints: Celts, Romans, Saxons, Vikings, Normans, a whole legacy of empire, moments of resistance, incredible resilience.
It's all in there.
So when you say British, you're not pointing to just one thing, one single lineage.
Yeah.
You're pointing to this ancient code that's built on wave after wave after wave of change.
And as you reflect on all this, maybe you consider this final thought. Is this incredibly complex genetic story, this constant mixing and changing, is it something to divide over, or is it actually something to be profoundly proud of?
A powerful question.
Think about identity, ancestry, and what our DNA truly tells us about who we are and maybe who we are becoming.